Whatever you have done to prepare, you have done to prepare. Now let go of top-downing.
Once I was in the interview, yeah, I felt that there were like underlying tension. And I think what happened is that I was trying to with the two construct, the normal construct, me being not wanting to be free from alcohol, and the construct of being like, yeah, I want to talk about it. I wanted to force more that construct to arise. So that was creating tension inside myself.
Yeah, that's a form of the horizontal principle. Don't top down. Allow them to both be, and then attune to emergence and unfolding. See what happens. How does it all unfold? Right? So as you're in a conversation, as you're on that job interview, whatever you have done to prepare, you have done to prepare. Now let go of top-downing. You can do state development work, you can do your shadow construct work, you can do this, you can do that, you can practice communication, blah, 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 all of this kind of stuff. But then once you're in front of the person, just be in front of the person. Now, if you're able to choose states in front of that person, because you have such good state control, then do so. But if you can't do it yet, don't do it, right? But now, the meditation I gave you last about like really fucking want it, that's not what you do in front. That's at home. You practice this to have a horizon to move towards. When you're in front of a person, we have 5 particular states that have the deepest impact with people. The first one being to be equanimous. No craving, no contraction. Full equanimity. In Pali, it's called upekkha. If this is stabilized, and you effortlessly sit in equanimity, then you move to unconditional love. Once you're stabilized that, you have gratitude that you work with. Then you have forgiveness, then you have vulnerability. Those are the 5 states. And then you have 5 principles that you communicate with, right? The really wanting it is something you do outside of a particular interaction. And you just trust that that will carry over into the interaction, right? It's like if I'm preparing for a fight, the day of the fight, I can't go and do any strength training. I can't get stronger on that day. I'm not going to practice a new technique. I'm not going to get better on that day, right? Whatever my training has been, and we will now see who has had better preparation, me or my opponent, right? So as you go to that job interview, you'll just see, have you prepared enough yet or have you not? We shall see. Because the best thing you can do in that, like when the time comes, is to trust that your preparation has been enough. Right. Now, do you notice that you have prepared so much that you can actually effortlessly switch between the states and switch between the principles? Cool, then do that. But if you're not there yet, it will produce contraction to be in the conversation and to do principles. Right? Remember, I can do that because I've been doing this all fucking day, every fucking day, for years now. This is why we have practice sessions where you have a safe to fail container. And then you choose some of your daily interactions or weekly interactions or whatever, where you can practice it, and it's a good thing. But when you have that, like, hey, this is like kind of like one shot, like this is one job interview, then you got to look at like, do I have enough competency with the principles and the states to work with them during this interview or not? If it causes a little bit of confusion with how to apply that at a job interview when I sell myself at a job interview right now, then fall back on whatever it is that you do know how to do. Taking it back to a fight example. If I have, let's say elite level grappling and I'm learning striking, but I'm not fully there yet. If I then have a fight, like MMA fight against someone who's a striker, guess where I'm going to make the fight be? Right? So I will perform where I know how to perform well by now. Right? So practice sessions, you have the group chat, like in the group chat where we have, like, that's where you practice the principles in text. Like really practice jumping between the principles. And, we haven't worked through all the states yet, but like as much as you can, hold yourself in those states. And people that you meet out and about. But then if you don't have 6 hours a day of sales call at the moment, then when you get that one sales, really an interview, but like whatever, sales conversation, you don't have like 100 hours in the last week of having that kind of conversation. So you're going to be a little rustier. So I wouldn't combine a little bit rust with something that you're still getting a handle on. It's like a little bit of rust with a little bit of confusion will be pretty tough. So then fall back on what you know. But on the other hand, like if you're already doing 6 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours, whatever, on the phone every day right now, then you can probably like, okay, this week I'm doing curiosity, boom, massive upgrade. Next week I'm doing precision, next week this, and you can just like you quickly integrate the principles, right? So you're probably not far away from being able to apply the principles really well. But I would say be gentle with yourself and be strategic with how intensely you practice depending on the situation. So if you're at that job interview and you go like, having a little bit back on my mind the principles, I think will help me. Then do that. But really just trying to embody the 5 principles will be a little bit too much. I will lose track of the conversation. You don't do that. So you see, you adjust based on how much you can focus on the principles in this situation. And sometimes you're like, well, in this situation, I will fuck up if I just focus on the principles, but it's a low pressure situation. It doesn't matter if I fuck up. That would be like the practice sessions. So you adjust like depending on like level of consequence. Got to think, what's the level of consequence of focusing on this, right? And you have it both short term and long term, of course, right?